Have you ever wanted to wear a big cowboy hat and take on the role of J.R. Ewing? Well, now you can play a game where you guide an oil company through obtaining, refining, and then selling oil for massive profits in Pipeline. Wait, that's the wrong graphic. Pipeline! What's up, gamers? This is Dave from Tabletop Videos, and today I'm going to review another one of my top 10 games from 2019. The game is Pipeline, designed by Ryan Courtney.
Who?
Okay, look, I know this is his first board game, but seriously, you're going to want to check this out. Watch this video all the way through because this guy knows what he's doing. Also, Pipeline is published by Capstone Games and has artwork and graphic design from the amazing Ian O'Toole. On the surface, Pipeline looks like another economic game for nerds who paid attention in math class. Sadly, I was not one of those nerds. I was more of a comic book / computer nerd, but I digress. The game is actually very easy to teach and play, and has extremely interesting choices to make each and every round. Let me back up. Welcome to Pipeline. The object of the game is to win, and you win by having the most money at the end of the game. The premise of the game is that you are an oil company and you make money by buying, refining, and then selling various oils represented by these little cubes. The government used to run the oil industry, but now they're getting out of the business, leaving room for you to make lots of money and win the game. The game is played over 3 years, and each year you will have fewer and fewer actions you can perform, starting with 8, then 6, and finally 4. In between years, you'll do a quick refresh where you reset the market areas as well as a few other things. My goal with this video is to give you 5 reasons why I think you're going to like this game, while also giving you an idea of how most of the mechanics work. The first reason I think you might enjoy this game is that it's extremely easy to understand. The mechanics of this game are quite simple. On your turn, you choose an action, then perform the action. On the main board, there are 8 action spots connected in pairs. You can choose any one of these spots and perform the action. Then, if you want, you can pay $10 to do the other action in that pair. For example, if you go to the crude market to buy some oil, you can then purchase an upgrade. Now, you're going to need some pipes to refine this oil, and there are a few spots you can go to acquire these cool pipe tiles. You can purchase upgrades for your company or some additional refining equipment like tanks to store oil or machines to automate refining it. You can also take out loans or get a contract which lets you sell oil without using an action. There's also these government tile markets in the middle of the board that you can purchase even more pipes from at a slightly cheaper rate, but there's no secondary action available with that. The basic gameplay for this game can be taught in less than 10 minutes. And while the game does involve buying and selling oil, it's not nearly as heavy as some stock trading games that involve a stock market where the prices fluctuate. Now let's look at reason number 2 why I think you'll enjoy this game. And to do that, we're going to need to talk about refining oil. Refining oil is a matter of connecting pipelines to reach a certain length, then performing an action to actually refine the oil. At the beginning of the game, you're going to randomly determine how far a particular oil has to move through a pipe in order to advance from crude to low grade to medium grade, and finally medium grade to high grade. The higher the grade, the more it's worth. Once you know how far it needs to go, you can start building your pipeline accordingly. Your pipeline is made up of these awesome puzzly pipeline tiles, and each of these pipe sections count towards that number. So after you purchase a few tiles, you can move them around and connect them however you want to. The game has 135 pipe tiles in a wide variety of colors and patterns that you put together to meet those links. For example, these 2 tiles give us 4 sections of orange pipe that can be used to refine an orange oil cube from crude to low grade since the number required is 4. If we had 8 sections of orange pipe, we could refine oil from crude all the way to mid grade. And if we had 13 sections, we could refine the crude oil all the way to the top tier high grade. The better you are at constructing an efficient pipe system, the less actions and money you'll have to spend buying these pipe tiles. This puzzle aspect of the game is one of the great parts of this game, as it's simple to understand but rewards efficiency and planning. It doesn't have the polyomino Tetris-shaped pieces like Isle of Cats, but when you put together a well-oiled machine, it just feels so good. Once you've assembled your pipeline and are ready to refine some oil, you simply take your worker and place it on any of the tiles in your structure, and then any pipeline on that tile can refine oil as long as it meets the length requirements. But there's a downside to using an action to refine oil in that you're using your whole turn just to make better oil. Now, that's not bad, but if you get one of these fancy machines, you can run it automatically at the end of your turn while you're off looking at upgrades or buying more crude oil. They cost 15 bucks to run them, but they free up so many additional moves later that they're pretty vital. So reason number 3 that I think you're gonna like this game is because it's a different game every time. There's a fair amount of variability to the game, like how many segments it takes to refine oil at various levels, but one of the things that really makes this game interesting is the valuation cards. The valuation cards set additional ways to score points at the end of the game by giving you things to try and accomplish. For example, you can receive points for silver oil left in your tanks as well as for the value of your silver pipelines. There are 15 different valuation cards and you randomly select 3 at the beginning of the game, which in addition to giving you additional ways to score points, changes the things you might want to focus on from game to game, which means that the game will play out quite a bit differently every time you play. There are also 7 sets of upgrades that can be purchased, but you only have access to 5 of them in the game. These upgrades, while costly at $20 each, can save you a lot of money in the long run. These upgrades give you benefits like free pipes every year, or reduce the cost of certain actions like running your machines, or you might even earn extra money when you sell oil. There's also multiple levels for these upgrades, and once someone purchases an upgrade type, it's locked out for the rest of the year, which pushes everyone to kind of design their own infrastructures. Now let's move to reason number 4. Reason number 4 is the design and the artwork. Everything about this game is beautiful, from the box down to the little oil cubes. Ian O'Toole is one of my favorite artists / designers because his designs are so efficient and look incredibly fantastic. There's no clutter, no wasted space, just clean, colorful design. The player boards, which hold your tanks and show what type of oil you have and how refined they are, also give you the most useful bits of information. Ryan, Capstone Games, and Ian O'Toole should all be commended for making such a well thought out, beautiful game. Finally, and this is probably one of my favorite things about this game, is that from the very beginning of the game, there are interesting decisions to make every single round. There are 2 main resources in the game: money, of course, and also time. You'll start with only $40, but you'll get more as you start selling more refined oil. But having only 18 rounds means you're very limited in how much you can do before the game ends. So you're constantly striving to balance money and time to increase how much your actions are worth. Spending $10 to take an additional secondary action seems like a lot at first, but efficiency is what this game is all about. Being efficient allows you to take shortcuts and allows you to make more money, which just might win you the game. So these are the 5 reasons I think you might enjoy Pipeline. Have you played this game yet? If so, what did you think of it? Do you even know who J.R. Ewing is? If you enjoyed this video, give the like button a little nudge, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to be notified when more of these videos like this magically appear on the internet. That's all for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and go play some games.